I'm about to walk you through my entire shop, all the upgrades I've made in the first 6 months of me being here, as well as every single power tool that I have in this shop. This is gonna be a fun video. Let's go. So a couple months back, I moved from my woodworking shop that was in a detached garage into this woodworking shop, which is in a 2-car garage that's attached to my new home. I knew that when I made that move, I was gonna have to make a lot of adjustments to my shop. I was gonna have to buy some new tools. I was gonna have to change some things about this garage. And while my shop is not even close to being done, I wanna give you kind of like a 6-month update on how things are going and show you around my space as it's coming together. I want to include all of you in the process because I know a lot of you sitting at home, you're in the middle of building out your woodworking shop. It's probably not where you want it to be yet, but that's okay. Maybe it never will be. That's at least the case for me, but I wanted to kind of give you an update on where my shop is. So right here in the middle of my shop, I have a new table saw. I did a review on this Milwaukee battery-powered M18 table saw a couple of videos back, so I'll link that down in the description, as well as really like all the tools I talk about. There'll be lots of helpful links down in the description if you want to kind of dive deeper on this stuff. But this is a battery-powered table saw. This runs off of this 12-amp M18 lithium forged battery. This thing is a beast. I mean, this is the biggest battery I've ever seen to run a power tool. And as far as battery life, I talk about this more in the video, so I won't go too much into depth here, but the battery life on this is insane. I remember a couple of weeks back, I was cutting up like 5 or 6 cutting boards for a client. I was cutting through lots of strips of hard maple. I thought I was gonna have to charge this thing like 2 or 3 times. Did the whole thing on one charge and it wasn't even dead at the end of the project. So that's been really, really great. A couple of upgrades that I have made to this saw. One, of course, I got my bow push stick. This comes with a plastic push stick, but I like the foam ones better. If you've been around the channel, you've heard me talk about bow push sticks before. Secondly, the miter gauge that came with this table saw was absolute trash. In fact, it's not even around because I'm pretty sure I did throw it in the trash. It's plastic, it wouldn't stay square, and really that's pretty normal for most portable table saws, not really dunking on Milwaukee. But I went ahead and upgraded to this Incra miter gauge. I think at the time I bought this, it was around $80, but this is the best miter gauge I've ever seen. I've even worked with table saw miter gauges. This one's better. And so you can make lots of adjustments to make sure it stays snug in the track. You've got all kinds of positive stops. Just a really well-made miter gauge. And then one more adjustment that I made is I just got this adapter for dust collection so that this hooks up to my Festool dust extractor, which I'll show you in just a second. Yeah, this was really cheap on Amazon. Found a company that I think started back in 2020, and they make lots of these adapters, and this has been great. It's made dust collection on the saw really solid. This saw is simply sitting on a bore centipede table. There's gonna be an outfeed table and assembly table hopefully coming in the future. It's just that into the summertime, which is when I'm recording this video, my job is very busy. I haven't been in the shop as much as I want to, so I'm getting behind on some projects, and that's just one of the projects that I haven't gotten to yet. So expect a video or maybe multiple videos on that coming soon. If you have any tips or suggestions for outfeed tables, let me know in the comments. But yeah, right now we're rocking a bore centipede table and making the best of it. So if you remember when I first got into this garage, one of the things that I mentioned is that there's like no power in here. In fact, there are only 2 power outlets. There was one right over there by the garage door, just one power outlet. And then there was of course the one in the ceiling, which was powering the garage door lift. And I didn't really want to plug anything into that outlet. So besides those 2 outlets, really just the one, there was no power in here, which is a problem because, as you probably know, woodworking shops require power. So one of the first things that I did, you can kind of see it right behind me, is I went ahead and ran some more power in the garage. We have these receptacles kind of going around at about chest height, maybe almost head height, and they kind of go around on 2 walls of the shop. This was a major job. I actually helped the contractor do this. He said, hey, if you help me out, help me with pulling wire, I'll give you a little bit of a deal. And so that's what happened, but we had to cut tons of holes in the wall, pull this wire through, drill holes and studs, the wire's going through, connect this to the breaker box. Then we had to come back and patch the sheetrock, sand the sheetrock. It was like this whole process. And as you can see, I still have not painted over all of the places where we cut out holes in the wall. This was a job, but now I went from having 1 receptacle to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 additional receptacles. What I plan to do is right over here have maybe some charging stations for all my batteries, because as you're gonna see in just a second, I've got a ton of power tools that run off lots of different batteries, which means I need lots of different chargers. So probably gonna have a charging station somewhere behind me at some point, probably mounted to the wall, something really low profile. And then on the back wall, which I'll show you in just a second, all of those outlets are gonna also power my miter saw, which you'll see in a second. They're gonna also just power maybe some other chargers and probably a dust collector and a couple of other things like that. Moving down the wall a little bit, I've got more Ryobi link. This is where I keep a lot of like just kind of random stuff. I've got this slot box organizer, which I really, really like. I recently tiled my backsplash, and so I've got a lot of tile spacers back here. I've also been putting in some new light fixtures in my house, and so I've got a lot of wire nuts and things like that. Any kind of small parts that you have, Ryobi slot box, they've got some amazing, amazing products. So really big fan of that. And then right over here, I've got my Festool dust extractor. Of course, this thing is mobile. So once you take it off the brake, you can roll this thing around anywhere in the shop. But at least for now, it's kind of living just right here on the wall whenever it's not in use. I've never actually done a video review on this Festool dust extractor. This is my first Festool tool that I've ever owned. And of course, I mean, everything you hear about Festool, at least from my experience with this, is amazing. This is a great, great tool. If you want me to do a full review video on this extractor, just let me know in the comments. I want this channel to be driven by what you guys want me to do. So if you're interested in learning more about this, just let me know and I'll make a video on that. Oh, and then also I got my DeWalt shop stool. This thing's been with me for a long time. And I just love it. It's so comfortable. It adjusts, you know, the height adjusts. I can swivel around kind of anywhere in the shop, and you'll always see this thing floating around. I don't even know if they make this model anymore. I'll link to something that's similar down in the description, but this stool is awesome. So moving to the back wall now, I got my Metabo HPT miter saw right here. I just released a video on that saw, so if you want to check that out, you can find it on the channel or down in the description. But yeah, this is a 12-inch compound bevel miter saw. This thing gets after it. It's a great, great saw. And eventually what I want to do is maybe kind of rebuild this workbench so that this sits down, and so basically the top of this saw base is even with the rest of the workbench. That's kind of down the road. I also want to have a spot for the dust collector to live underneath here. It's just, you know, hey, every woodworking shop is a work in progress. A woodworking shop is never done. So this is just kind of where I'm at right now. But this is the saw that I'm using right now for my miter saw. And, you know, got some other space here on the workbench. I try to keep this really clean so that when I need to make, you know, cuts with longer stock, I can do that. You can see right back here where we installed all these new receptacles. You can see where we cut a bunch of holes in the sheetrock. Gives me PTSD every time. And also it was like a super dusty mess getting all that dust out of the shop. But anyways, that's all done now, and eventually that'll either be painted or I might do like a wooden slat wall back here just to give it kind of a rustic look. Not really sure what I'm gonna do there yet, but that's kind of things I'm thinking about. And then right over here, I got my breaker box, and then I have my rolling Milwaukee pack outs. This thing's sweet. It just kind of rolls around the shop, keeps a lot of my tools that I reach for very frequently. A lot of my smaller tools, like my digital angle gauge, Odie's oil finish I keep in here. It's dust proof. It's just really, really nice. You can lock these things down. So yeah, that kind of rolls around, but typically it's staying right over there by the interior door. Oh, let me show you this. One more thing that I did recently when I moved in this to this house. There was this roll of carpet that you see down here on the floor. And so I just put this thing down in front of my workbench, and so far I've loved it. One, it got the carpet out of my way. It was eating up shelf space right over here, which this is really messy, so I'm not gonna show you this. But it kind of just it's comfortable when I'm right here at my workbench. Yeah, it catches dust, but I can vacuum that up really easily. It kind of dampens the sound in here a little bit, so been a big fan of that. I'm not sure if I'd ever carpet this whole garage space or put down permanent carpet, but having this here, I've really been a fan of. I told you earlier that I have a ton of power tools in the shop. That's obviously true. Let me just kind of run you through some of the basics. Here's all my Milwaukee power tools, or most of them at least. I already talked to you about the table saw. Won't revisit that. Milwaukee track saw right here. This is an M18 track saw. This thing gets after it. There's a full video on the channel. I'll let you find that if you want more details, but it's got, I mean, great accuracy. The adjustments are top notch. This is the only track saw that I've used, but from what I've heard, this thing even competes with the Festool track saw. It's so smooth, so clean, great power. And man, I mean, if you throw like a really hefty M18 battery in here, the battery life's gonna be great. So huge fan of this. This has been amazing. This is an M12 jigsaw right here. This is the barrel handle grip. Best jigsaw I've ever owned. You can change the blades without an Allen key. It's a toolless blade change. You've got the different oscillating options right here. The toggle switch on the side is great. It's just a great jigsaw. I run a 3 amp M12 battery in this. I'd probably really need to upgrade to like a 5 or a 6 amp M12 battery. But even with the 3 amp, it has a pretty solid battery life, especially because, you know, typically jigsaws, you're making shortcuts. You're not really using one for an hour at a time. At least I don't. I got my M12 brushed drill, and I have a driver as well. It's solid. It's great for lightweight stuff. It's brushed. It's not brushless. I actually just bought this before I knew the difference, like several years back. So I kind of wish I got a brushless, but hey, what are you going to do? I've got the Milwaukee M18 brushed drill and driver. Once again, wish it was brushless, but I also bought this, or actually I think this was given to me like 6 or 7 years ago. So I've gotten a lot of great use out of this. I put this thing through the ringer. It still works really, really well. I've got this work light right here. This is M12. Wish the battery life was a little bit longer, and the batteries are actually kind of hard to get out of here, in my opinion. But besides this, it's a great LED work light. Got different brightness settings. I mean, this thing, it's just, I like this light a lot. My go-to router is the M18 router. This router is a boss. Really not a lot to say about it besides the fact that it's accurate, it's smooth, it's crisp. The adjustments are easy. It's variable speed, which you've got to have for a palm router. This is my go-to. I used to use a Colt Bosch palm router. It's like a 1.25 HP palm router. This is surpassed it. I probably could just go ahead and sell that router. That other one was a great router, but this one's better. And then this is a little framing circular saw. This is an M12. It's on the M12 platform. It is brushless. And it's really easy to use. The only weird thing about this saw is it's kind of designed for a left-handed individual, and I'm right-handed. So it's just a little weird because every other circular saw that I have, the blade is on this side of your hand. See what I'm saying? Just a little weird. I don't know. But I do like this. And if you want like a very small, lightweight saw to keep in your truck maybe, just for cutting down 2x4s or plywood, this saw's awesome. Ryobi power tools, here are the ones I have. I'll start off with this router. This router is really solid. It's brushed, not brushless. Ryobi does have a brushless router that I've heard great things about. Just haven't used it yet. But this one's really solid. Not my go-to router because of the M18, but I did buy this for a test, like a test video a while back, and it really surprised me. I mean, this is a solid router. If I was ever maybe taking a router to a job, maybe a job where I was working outside, didn't want to mess up a tool, this is probably what I'd reach for because it's durable, it's reliable. I just don't love it as much as I love that M18 router. But this is my go-to circular saw because it's a full-size circular saw. It's 7 1/4 inches. And unlike that kind of weird Milwaukee one, it's got the blade on the right side, the right-hand side. So at least for me being a right-handed person, this works a lot better. So that is my go-to saw. Got great power too with that brushless motor. This is a jigsaw that, you know, it's solid, D-handle jigsaw. I did a review on that on the channel. Don't really have a lot to say about it. It's just like a solid jigsaw that if you want a jigsaw to use from time to time, but you want something that's budget friendly, this might be a great one to check out. And then I've got the 18 gauge Ryobi Airstrike brad nailer. This one, the two big gripes I have with this brad nailer is it's very heavy. It's like very heavy in my hand right now, and there's not even a battery in it. It's a little bit top heavy. It wants to fall like this, which is uncomfortable for my wrist. And if you're putting up shiplap, you're gonna be holding this away from your body. Just a little too heavy for my taste. And also, you can't use bump mode with it. A lot of people on my videos, when I did a video on this brad nailer, they're like, it has bump mode. But I went back and looked, I cannot find it. So either I'm just a hooligan and can't find the bump mode on this, or it doesn't have it on this particular model. But yeah, I mean, it's solid. It's nice that you don't have to have an air compressor hooked up to this thing, and it's just battery powered. Those are my Ryobi power tools. A couple of other random power tools that I'll show you by kind of various brands. First, I got my Ridgid brad nailer. Now this one is not battery powered. It does hook up to the air compressor, which is kind of annoying, but it's so much lighter weight, and it does have bump mode right down here. So this is, I don't know, depends on the job, but I really like this brad nailer a lot. I put up a bunch of shiplap in my daughter's room before she was born with this brad nailer. So it's kind of got a special place in my heart. And then I've got, these are brand new to me, Metabo HPT, which is formerly known as Hitachi. I've got their drill driver combo. Really haven't even used these yet. These are straight out of the box. I got a deal that came with the miter saw, which I already showed you, and then this drill and driver, a charger, and 2 batteries. And so, yeah, it was like a great deal. I posted about it on my channel, so always be looking for tool deals on my channel. But I went ahead and picked up this set. Really excited to have a brushless drill driver combo set. Another thing about these is they're so lightweight. I mean, you're gonna get some great power with these larger batteries, but yeah, I mean, so comfortable, so lightweight. Really excited about these. And then this is my old Craftsman, I think this is a 5-inch disc sander. Nothing fancy about this thing other than the fact that I've used this a ton. It's been a great sander, very similar to the DeWalt sander, and it's just held up really, really well. I cannot tell you the amount of cutting boards, coffee tables, other random projects that I've finished with this sander. It's kind of got a special place in my heart too. So if you're looking for a great starter disc sander, I'd recommend this one, and I'll link it down in the description. Right over here in kind of the front corner of my garage is kind of my catch-all station. Truthfully, this is where a lot of my lawn equipment is held. I have some Ryobi link rails that mounted. Ryobi sent me this awesome shelf, which you can see right now. Shelf about 5 inches deep, holding drills, my charger for my lawnmower, paper towels, Bluetooth speaker, random stuff. But then I can pull this table up and locks into place, and I've got a nice little work table whenever I'm changing out weed eater string, or I don't know, just kind of doing random stuff. This is a really nice workbench. Try to keep this clean so I can always drop it down if I need to. And then below this, I've got like lawnmower, pack out with a bunch of tools. I'll show you some of these in a second. And also my Bora Centipede workhorses, which I think I maybe included those in a video a while back, but basically they're sawhorses that can fold down really small and then unfold really quickly. They're really cool to have in the shop. I'm a big fan of Bora. Mostly the Centipede tables, but their sawhorses are awesome as well. And then right up here, I've got some pack outs mounted up on the wall. Eventually, I kind of want this pack out mounting system to hold all of my Milwaukee batteries. As you can see, I've got a holder for my M12 batteries up there. Would love to have a couple for M18 batteries, just so all my batteries can be kind of organized in the same place. That's my plan at least. But right now, it's got a low profile organizer with a bunch of like random stuff in there, and that's just where it is. There will be some links down in the description to some videos where I compare Ryobi Link to Milwaukee Packouts. Done lots of videos. Honestly, I'll go ahead and kind of bury the lead. I'm a big fan of both systems. Packout's probably the more quality, Ryobi Link's the more affordable, but they're both really great. I use them all the time. I'm a big fan of both of them. So that's pretty much my shop. Let me know if there's something I missed down in the comments, or if you have some questions about something specific, I can go into more detail down there. And if you enjoyed this video, after you hit the like button, check out one of these 2 videos. In this video, I go into way more depth about that table saw that I was talking about earlier in the video. And in this video, I go into way more depth about my new miter saw. I'll see you in one of these 2 videos.